It is almost Black Friday. It is in 10 days. November, I want to say April for some reason. November 29 of this year. Don't forget, there are some deals that are early, which are actually cheaper than the actual day. There's also the following Monday, Cyber Monday. If you're not familiar with those terms, I definitely suggest you look them up. That being said, you might be thinking, okay, now's the time to buy a new computer. Depending where you live, you're like, yeah, I want to buy a new computer. They might not be the best Black Friday deals, but as usual, right, I'm going to be plugging Amazon because Amazon is available in a lot of countries, something like 160 countries out of the 200 and something countries of the world these days. So before I start talking about these pieces, I want to say you want to buy from someone that is very notable. The two people that I will mention are CyberPower and iBuyPower. Again, these are American companies. They're like so old. I remember them from when I lived in Massachusetts 20 years ago. So they're established. The second thing I want you to be sort of wary of is like I can buy these PCs from the US, right? We do have Amazon in Japan that ships to Taiwan, and Amazon in the US that ships to Taiwan. You have to check out what is their local warranty prices because of course iBuyPower and CyberPower PC don't exist in Taiwan, but Amazon requires sellers to have certain rules like saying, hey, my PC is broken. Can I ship it back to the States? And yes, you can. So that is going to be costly though, so you have to keep that in mind. That being said, prices have gone up, right? They're no longer, the last time I made one of these videos, they're no longer as cheap as what they used to be. So keep that in mind. Like my low price point PC is $1,100. So keep that in mind. So moving on to my first PC, it is the CyberPower PC. Again, it has a really nice CPU. It is one generation below. It is an 8700. So right now, AMD is on a 9000 series CPU. It has a mid-range graphics card, a 4060 Ti, 8 gigabytes. Something to remember with that 8 gigabytes of RAM is the bare minimum you need for 4K resolutions for a lot of games. So there's that. Windows 11 Home also not good, but again, if you're a regular user, it's good enough. 16 gigabytes of RAM, also good, but again, the sweet spot for gamers is 32. But I mean, the wonderful thing about buying a big PC as opposed to buying a laptop or buying a Steam Deck is that you can upgrade the RAM. You can put your $1,100 down now and then later on get another 16 gigabytes of RAM. So this is a great bare bones PC. If you look at the picture, right, it does look wonderful. You've got your liquid cooler, you've got your fans on the bottom. You can add fans on the top as well to increase the circulation. A great Star PC that's going to be playing everything in at least 1080p. That being said, there are going to be a lot of games, not a lot, like about 50% of games that you will not be able to play at 4K and run them very smooth or high quality settings, whatever you want to call it. All right, let's move on to the mid-range PC. The mid-range PC is from iBuyPower. It is the Y60. It is $1,900. So a good step up. The good thing I will say about this is that the main differentiator is it is running an RTX 4070. So what I tell people is I just literally went to on Sunday with a friend of mine and I said he needed to buy a new PC. I'm like, you want to go for a 4070 because if you're buying a graphics card, if you would go mid-range doesn't tend to last you in terms of resolution and graphics fidelity more than 2 to 3 years. But if you're going to buy not high-end like a 4090, which is like a $2,000 graphics cards, but like just below high-end like a 4070, 4080, 4090, or say 4070, 4080, it will be fine. It'll last you 5 years. You'll be able to play most things at 4K right up until that 5-year mark. So like right up until 2029 almost. And everything else is pretty much the same. It does come with 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is better. CPU is one series below those, so it's a 7900X, but 7900X is a good CPU. So that's actually a really good deal. It's probably the thing I would suggest for most people. It has a nice case, a little better case than the other one. And my last choice, let's go with the high-end PC. And this is taking a little bit of time to load. So the high-end PC is a Skytech Blaze gaming PC, $2,500. It comes with a 7800X 3D, RTX 4070 as well. Comes with 32 gigabytes of RAM, Windows 11 Home. It comes with a nice gold level power supply. So again, this is a much bigger case, hence the shipping and customs fees if you're shipping to Taiwan. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, right, if you're living in a hot country, you don't want a mid-tower, you want a large case, because hot temperatures are not good for electronic components. If you're like Antoine or you live in Canada and it's cold for like 9 months out of the year, you're fine. You don't need a big case. You can even get one of those little tiny mini ITX PCs. But yeah, these are my three choices. Again, what I've told the guys before is like, the next PC I buy will be buying from one of these places, or I'll just do what Adam did, which is just go to the store here in Taiwan and say, hey, these are the things I want, build it for me. And then they will build it. And then within 1 year, they'll fix whatever goes wrong for free. If it's longer than a year, they'll still fix it. They'll just charge you to replace stuff. But you just like, that's the beautiful thing of like, food is the Chinese word. There's like no really, like customer service is just really the wrong word in English. But food Chinese is just like, that's just it, right? Like there's no like service fee or labor fees or taxes like that. Go to the store here in Taiwan, drop your PC up like, hey, man, I don't know what the hell's happening. And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll fix it for you. And they'll call you a few days later, like, yep, we replaced this and this and this. Are you okay? Yep, okay. Go there, pay the money, come back to your house. Windows 11 is already in. They're reformatted, reinstalled, wonderful. So you live in a country like that, that might also be an option. But if you don't, buying a ready-made PC is definitely a good choice. It's not, middle-aged gamers, we're too busy to build PCs anymore, to be honest. And those are the three choices. Again, those are just my three choices. You might have your own. You might have other places in the country that you live in. If you do, let me know. I know last time we did a hardware video, people were very vocal about my choices, so I'm looking forward to that.